Hi, I'm Guy Bacos, and welcome to this video on the art of string balance, a step-by-step guide to shaping a lush string sound. In this video, I want to share a method I use to make the string section sound lush and expressive. And we're talking big chords here, up to 8 notes. Yes, it does mean putting a bit more attention to each part, but once you hear how it all blends, you'll see it's totally worth it. I took a short passage from the piece you're listening to right now, and I'll walk you through it. For this, I'll be using the small string ensemble from Synchron Prime Strings 2. All right, let's jump in and make some string magic. Let's start by listening to the first violins without any velocity adjustments. That feels a bit harsh. Let's ease into it with a gentler opening and closing note. Alright, you might be thinking, hey, I already do that. It's pretty basic stuff. And you're totally right. But this is one of those parts where just a little extra expression can really lift things up and keep it from feeling flat or lifeless. I'll nudge it a bit and see what you think. To further smooth out the notes attack and release, I'll be using the convenient timbre adjust feature. From here on, I'll continue using the timbre adjust in the same way for each part, but our focus will be solely on the velocities. Okay, now that we've shaped the main melody just the way we want it, let's add the next layer, the lower line of the first violins. We'll keep the two top voices playing while working on the bottom line until both lines fit together smoothly. Well, that's obviously rough, so let's quickly add some basic dynamics. That's not bad, but I'd like it to match the main melody's dynamic on that second note. Alright, let's keep things rolling and bring in the third layer, the top line of the second violins. We'll listen to all three upper voices together now and gently work on blending the third line so it fits just right. I'll start by setting a nice bass level for the velocity. I'm liking the results so far, though the second note could use a bit more presence. Let's increase its velocity slightly. And to be consistent with all the other parts, let's give this line the same softer dynamic on that third note. Now it's time to bring in the fourth line, the second violin's lower part. We'll keep the top four going while we work on blending this one into the mix. That stands out too much. Let's lower the velocity. I like it, but it's a bit flat. Let's give these two notes some movement so they flow better with the other parts. That sounds nice. Let's keep it. Let's move on. We're now heading into the mid to low string range where even small excess in velocity can really affect the overall balance. So we'll have to be careful. Alright, now next up the violas. This brings us to 5 voices in total. Let's start with a rough velocity value for the viola line to get things started, and we'll fine-tune it as we go. What do you think? Personally, I feel it stands out a bit too much. Maybe we should try dialing the velocity down and see if that blends better. Well, now it certainly blends well, but maybe we could add a bit of velocity to the second note. Perfect. It's audible, yet remains subtle. Just 3 more layers to go. The first and second cellos, then the basses. As always, we'll want to keep that delicate balance we've built so far. So now we're down to the first cellos to mix in. Let's see how that goes. And once again, we'll start with a random velocity value. With 2 more lower parts still to add, there's a risk the mix could get muddy. Let's keep things subtle and go with a low velocity. That works nicely, but the last chord of this passage feels a little weak. Let's give it a slight boost in velocity. Now let's bring in the bottom cellos, the second cello line. Time to blend them with everything we've tweaked so far. And just like before, we'll try out 2 velocity levels to feel out the dynamic range we're going for. Let's kick things off with a value of 45 and see how that sits. I'm keeping the upcoming contrabasses in mind and want to make sure they have enough room to breathe. To avoid a muddy texture, I'll keep the second cellos on the softer side. As with the first cellos, I want that final low chord to have enough presence, so I'll slightly raise the velocity at that point. Now we're down to the lowest part of the passage, the contrabasses. Even though the bass line gives a strong foundation to any chord, we don't want it to overpower all the other parts, rather adding that deep, rich support to the texture. So now all that's left to do is to balance them with the 7 other voices we've already shaped, and as we did before, we'll try out a few velocity levels to find the sweet spot that feels just right. Interesting, but let's try a lower velocity. It's sounding good, though we've lost a bit of that full-bodied low-end presence. Just for fun, let's dial the velocity down and see what happens. I'm not entirely convinced by that. I think I'd like to bring back some of that deep bass presence, so I'll shape the dynamics, keeping the attack and release of both notes soft. Now things are really starting to take shape. However, I'll boost the dynamics a bit more to really bring out that low-end register. I really like this, as well as the overall sonic balance. Let's take it further by adding a few plugins to give the sound more body and presence. Okay, let's hear the whole thing now. Staccato middle section included. But first, just to put things in context, let's quickly remind ourselves what it sounded like before we adjusted the velocities. Fair warning, it might be a little rough on the ears. I think it's safe to say this was time well invested. Always trust your ear, it's your most powerful guide. Thanks for tuning in and see you in the next video.